This is my Singer 6212C. And I had a common problem with it a few minutes ago, so I wanted to talk about it. It is about 90 degrees, high humidity. I only have a few masks to finish before I have to pin some more. And this is like the worst nightmare. It was sewing fine. I had just gotten it out. It sewed one mask fine. And then all of a sudden I was getting all kinds of loopy threads on the bottom. Now, I haven't used this machine all that much since I got it. So the first thing I did was make sure I had it threaded correctly, which I did. And I had the tension at where it is now, which is about 4.5. And I got frustrated because I need to get the masks done, and I put it away. I used my 1591, and then I got determined, which is what I suggest you should do, to find out what the problem was. Because otherwise it was going to sit in its case, and I would be thinking about it anyway. So I got it back out, and in addition to checking the thread, the way it's threaded, and your tension setting, the one problem that I find whenever I have a bobbin thread issue is that I have the bobbin in wrong. And Singer's, this is a front-loading bobbin. This particular one, you have to have the thread leading off from the left. It then goes in the slot, and I'm not sure that will focus, and then out of another slot, and you pull it toward the back before you close the door. I had it upside down, but I had already checked that once and changed it. What I didn't do, after I checked it the first time and changed it, I still had the loopy thread. What I didn't do was get the manual out. So most of the Singer manuals are available online. So there it is, right there in the book, how to put the bobbin in. And 9 times out of 10, it's that simple. And this time, it was that simple. Whether it was the heat, the frustration, or whatever, I wasn't putting the bobbin in correctly. So now it's in correctly, and it's sewing fine, but I want to mention something else. The bobbin I have in there, I've been making masks for the town, and they gave me thread to use for their masks, and this is a cheap 5 for $1 thread. That's the bobbin thread I have on there. The top thread that I put on there that also helped solve the problem is a Vintage Coats Best 6-cord cotton thread. It's really the best vintage thread, and if you can get it like I did, where it's virtually brand new and has been stored well so that it hasn't lost its strength, it's a wonderful thread. And so I had taken this cheap top thread off, put the good 6-cord on there, and put the bobbin in correctly. And now I have no loopy threads. So it's a common problem. It's usually something simple. Doesn't matter sometimes how experienced you are. Just, it happens. So this is why I always say try to have a manual for your machine. Read it like it's a book, like it's a magazine, and think over what it says. For example, this machine came with a second small spool pin cover on here, and I thought it had something to do with the tension. I looked it up, and it's just for smaller spools of thread. It fits on there more tightly than the one that's on there now, so I thought they both had to be on there. It's little things like that, and I had a similar machine, the 6012, for a long, long time and used it, but you know, even if you only have one machine and get it out every once in a while, there are little things you can forget. In my case, I have 12 of them, and sometimes keeping every little thing about each one straight is difficult. But anyway, so if you have loopy threads, check your top thread, your threading, your tension, and without adjusting anything other than your tension if you need it. I didn't touch the bobbin case or anything like that. You just want to make sure everything is set up correctly. The other thing to check is that you have your needle in correctly. And on this one, the flat of the needle goes toward the back because it threads from front to back. Excuse me, from front to back. Very simple things to check when you have loopy thread.